Hello. Hi, everyone. I hope everyone is having a awesome Wednesday. I just wanted to hop on this video quickly and talk about something that gets me a little bit fired up. A little bit haggard today. I haven't taken a shower in a couple days, which is why I've got this toque on. I'm actually just about to jump in my infrared sauna, so there was no need to shower. I will shower after the sauna. But anyways, if this is your first time joining in for one of my videos, I'm Kendra Perry. I run the Hormonally Balanced Facebook group, and I am a functional nutritionist. I focus on female hormones, gut health. I also focus quite a bit on detoxification. And today I actually want to talk about vitamin D supplementation. So this is a supplement that many of you ladies might be taking. You might be taking it every day. You may have even been diagnosed with low vitamin D on a lab test and had your doctor push up to 50,000 international units of vitamin D a day. So this gets me a little bit fired up because this is actually a really, really big mistake to be taking vitamin D for most women. And it can actually make your health problems significantly worse, and it can throw your entire mineral system off. And I'm going to tell you why today. So this is a pretty trendy thing, right? A lot of vitamin D has become this really kind of important topic in the health and wellness industry. Most people know or have heard that vitamin D is very much associated with poor health. So what I want to talk about today is why this is really misguided. So most people will have low vitamin D. The problem with vitamin D testing is that the storage form of vitamin D is what's being tested. The 25-hydroxy D is actually a storage form of vitamin D. It's not actually the active form of vitamin D. So what your storage form of vitamin D actually doesn't tell us what's going on in the body. So it's really not a good marker to be guided by with supplementation. You want to be measuring the active form of vitamin D, and most labs, most doctors have never heard of that, and they're not actually going to be recommending that. So it is the storage form, not the active form. So not a good way to be guiding supplementation. Also, a lot of research kind of associates, low vitamin D with autoimmunity, with cancers, with all types of different conditions. But vitamin D being low in the body is actually a result of imbalances in the body and not a cause. So just taking vitamin D is actually not going to improve your symptoms. So for example, what the research is showing now is that when someone has autoimmune conditions, when they have chronic gut issues, especially chronic infections, vitamin D will be low as a result, but it's not actually a cause of autoimmunity, chronic infections, or gut dysbiosis. It's a result. So it's a symptom. So seeing low vitamin D on a test and then supplementing vitamin D is treating a symptom. It's not actually getting to the root cause. So it's actually not doing you any favors. And this is actually really interesting, and this is what gets me fired up. So with minerals and vitamins, these are very important to the body, and every single mineral and vitamin has an effect on every single mineral and vitamin in the body. Okay. So, this is why I don't support multivitamins. I think multivitamins are crap. I think they can throw your body out of balance. I think it's a super 90s approach to health. We're all different. We all have different mineral imbalances, and taking a multivitamin or a multi-mineral is not a good idea. Taking vitamin D is not a good idea either. And this is why. So vitamin D, what it will do is it will drive down potassium and it'll push up calcium. And when you have high calcium and low potassium, it actually slows down your metabolism, and it slows down your thyroid function. So your thyroid is Alicia says, I wish I'd known this weeks ago when I paid for a D test. That probably won't help me. Well, it's always good to see where things are at, but I wouldn't use that as a reason to actually start taking vitamin D. So back to the thyroid. So thyroid is this butterfly-shaped gland on your neck. It is responsible for producing thyroid hormone, which regulates your entire energy system, which regulates your entire metabolism. And calcium and potassium are very much involved in this. And as calcium goes up, potassium gets low, and you get this elevated calcium-potassium ratio, which happens when you take vitamin D. It actually slows down your metabolism. So this will make you gain weight. This will ruin your energy. This will not make you healthy at all. And this is the problem. Okay. So so I know this because I do a lot of mineral testing. Most people, about 80% of our population, is what is called a slow oxidizer or a slow metabolic type. And in that pattern, sodium and potassium are low and calcium, magnesium are high. So if you are a slow metabolizer or slow oxidation, or you have a slow oxidation rate, meaning you're in 80% of the population, which is a good chance you are, taking vitamin D is actually going to perpetuate that state and even slow down your metabolism even further. Okay. Here's another reason why you shouldn't take it. Okay, another thing that has a similar effect of vitamin D is copper. Copper will drive down potassium and will push up calcium, which will slow your metabolic rate. It'll also deplete magnesium, which is a very, very important. It'll cause a lot of magnesium loss. Most women have copper imbalance. Most women have copper toxicity. Why is this? Because usually at some point in your life, you've taken hormonal birth control or copper IUD. I would say probably 90% of women have been on some form of birth control, and estrogen will actually drive up copper in the body. This is something I talk about a lot. I see copper toxicity in pretty much every woman I test. It's crazy. And this is because of this estrogen issue. So any synthetic hormone you've been on, any synthetic estrogen, so birth control pills, copper IUD, Mirena IUD, patch, the ring, the needle, all those things with hormones, they drive up your copper. And then copper pushes down potassium, drives up your calcium, which slows the metabolic rate. So if you have any symptoms of estrogen dominance, if you get any premenstrual symptoms, so bloating, insomnia, irritability, acne, what else do you get before your period? Cramping, any of those things that happen in the week before your period, that actually says that you have a copper imbalance. So a lot of those symptoms you're experiencing is actually your body dumping copper, because copper and estrogen are friends, they are related, and they move up in the body together. So if you have any of those symptoms, you have a copper issue, which means that by taking vitamin D, you're actually perpetuating the issues that the copper toxicity is actually happening. I don't support vitamin D supplementation at all unless you have a fast metabolic type, which only accounts for about 20% of the population. Most women are slow. So, I mean, when I run mineral panels, most of the women I see are copper toxic. They are a slow metabolism type, and they have low potassium and high calcium. And when calcium gets too high, it's really interesting. It actually starts getting pulled out of the bone. It starts dissolving out of the bone and the teeth. So you end up with brittle bones and maybe bad teeth, a lot of tooth decay, and it starts getting deposited in the soft tissue. So that's when we start seeing it in the hair. It gets deposited in the joints, can lead to a lot of joint pain, and it can get deposited in the brain, which is something we call a calcium shell. So literally the calcium is building up around the shells or around the cells, and it's a very sort of like dissociated emotional state, very apathetic. You just feel like nothing excites you anymore. You feel very flat. It's a very common symptom of a calcium shell, and vitamin D supplementation can do that to you. So can copper. So I'm totally against vitamin D supplementation. It's not your fault though, because it's what everyone's telling you to do, right? Everyone's telling you to take your vitamin D, and people are telling you to take very high doses of vitamin D. They're telling you to take 10,000 plus international units a day. Not good. I was actually taking really high doses of vitamin D forever. And then once I started getting into mineral balancing, I noticed that I was copper toxic and I had low potassium and high calcium. And this was actually making it worse. And I stopped supplementation. My mineral balance improved a lot. So I just don't recommend vitamin D supplementation unless you have tested for the active form of vitamin D, which is not the typical test you're getting. You're getting a 25 hydroxy vitamin D. That's the storage form. It's not active. And if you see that as low, sure, it could be helpful. If you are a fast metabolic type, which you can only find out by running a hair mineral analysis, then vitamin D might be helpful for you, because fast metabolic types tend to be calcium deficient and have high potassium. So that could actually help rebalance, but that's only 20% of the population. It's probably not you, especially if you know you have estrogen issues, if you have PMS, fibroids, endometriosis, cysts, anything like that, then you have a copper issue, and vitamin D is going to make you worse. So if you have vitamin D supplements, if you're taking them right now, get rid of them, chuck them out, save your money. Do not take vitamin D. So I hope this was helpful. Again, I get pretty fired up about this topic. If you're interested in running a mineral panel with me, I am offering it to this group. Usually I only run it as a part of a package with my clients, but if you just want to get your foot in the door, do some mineral balancing with me, you can actually just shoot me a comment. I can reach out to you directly and we can get you set up with a mineral panel and start dealing with your copper issues, with your slow metabolism, and start rebalancing your minerals, which is going to help you bring your energy back, help you lose weight, get rid of brain fog, get rid of PMS, and help you balance your hormones for real. Okay, hope you guys have a great Wednesday, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.